Welcome back. Keeping cattle healthy is the key to beef producers' profitability. Respiratory disease costs producers an average of $15 per head per year. Now that's a major expense that can be managed. Cattleman to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter takes us to South Dakota to see how one ranching family is winning the battle against respiratory disease in their herd.
On the edge of the South Dakota Badlands, the Williams family has carved out a living on a scenic ranch. Despite its beauty, the tough northern plains environment can pose a challenge for ranchers like Marty Williams, whose family has been ranching near the Cheyenne River since 1979.
My granddad and great-granddad were all in the livestock business, and my folks, when they got out of college, they got married. We came down here in 1979. My brother and I, we went to college. When we got done, we came home and we started expanding. We built our background lot. My folks were good enough, they helped us create an opportunity so we could stay on the land and try and make a living in the livestock industry. We are just off the Cheyenne River, and obviously you can see it's fairly rough country. We have to manage our grass because it is very sensitive here with shale banks and stuff, so it gets to be a challenge just to keep forage in front of livestock. Lack of rainfall in the summertime generally is the problem.
Winter is also a challenge for Marty. He works with a small family crew, so ensuring animal health is critically important, as is a solid nutrition program to make sure his cows get their calves off to a strong start.
Starting with a good nutrition program, that relates back to when we get into calving in the spring, have a good body condition score in our cows. Therefore, cows produce colostrum. Colostrum produces healthy calves, and we can get them calves off to a good start in the spring and give them a chance. Obviously, where we're here, we calve in country like this. When a cow calves, you're not going to see that calf for 2-3 days. So he either got it or he didn't, and strong will survive, because if he didn't get it right away, he's not gonna make it till weaning. So we try and do it ahead of time by watching the cows and culling and keeping a high plane of nutrition.
The focus on nutrition ensures cattle have every opportunity to stay healthy. However, when they do get sick, an animal on a good nutritional plane is better able to fight illness, and a strong vaccination program is more effective in fighting that disease.
If we go back and look at setting up a vaccination program and combine that with a good nutrition program and a good management program, then we really have set the foundation for an overall prevention program for respiratory disease.
Obviously, if you start with a good immune system, the vaccines are gonna work properly. Otherwise, if you don't have nutrition, first of all, the vaccines are not gonna work near as effectively as if the cattle are in better condition.
It really starts to the day they're born and having good colostrum. It's like flipping the light switch for the immune system. So if we can start a calf off right with good nursing and good quality colostrum from the dam, then it sets the stage for us to vaccinate that animal as his immune system matures.
Managing respiratory disease, we work closely with our nutritionist and make sure that we're balancing our rations. And then we come in with the Vista once and a Vision 7. And in order for those vaccines to work, we need to start with a high plan of nutrition.
To Marty, managing herd health is important because of the combination of a limited labor pool and the tough country he ranches in, which limits his ability to monitor cattle on a daily basis. Those conditions mean a proven vaccine like Vista is crucial to success.
In the winter and the spring, we feed these cows. We're seeing them every day. When they come to feed, we look through them all and make sure there's no problems. On summertime, when we get turned out, it is a little more difficult. We see them a couple times a week, ride through them, and then you're checking water and stuff like that. But it is more difficult in the summertime, but we hope that the practices we did throughout the winter and the spring will carry over and help us in the summertime. And that's why we use the Vista once, because summertime pneumonia, when it gets hot and dry and dusty in the summertime, does become a problem. By pre-planning, it makes it easier in the summertime.
When he does have a chance to monitor cattle, Marty says quick identification of the disease and rapid treatment are critical. He says that starts with a good working relationship with his veterinarian.
I have a good relationship with our veterinarian. If I got a problem, he's on speed dial. We talk about everything, and you know, if you think you got something going on, we're able to hopefully curb it off before it becomes a wreck.
Veterinarians and cattle producers work together hand in hand, and the veterinarian tries to provide those services that make for sustainable relationship and profitability for the producer. And so it's early intervention and calling the vets when they're needed, but also when they're not needed, and go down and ask for advice, because veterinarians really work hard to get new information and then can translate that into useful information for the producers they work with.
That information includes making sure you're treating the right disease with the right product in the event of an outbreak. That's where veterinary diagnostics can make a big difference.
The biggest thing is to know what pathogens are there. So if we go back through and look at collecting samples and when to collect samples, it really gives us a background on what vaccines to select and what drugs to use. What we found is that there's been a shift over time in the number of drug-resistant pathogens there. And where we seldom saw them, now we're starting to find them more and more often. And in a recent survey that we did of feedlot cattle, we found out that about 4% of the cattle are coming in carrying multi-drug resistant bugs at that point in time. And so that makes respiratory disease management a lot more difficult, because we don't want those particular pathogens to spread through the cattle.
Dr. Spire and Marty both agree that developing a relationship with a veterinarian before you have a problem and tackling any health challenges early is essential if you're going to be successful in keeping cows and calves growing strong.
And I've had so many cases where people will call up and say, well, this started a week ago, and then they bring it in. But the best relationship that you can have is where you're part of a team, and you're part of a sustainable team for that operation. And a veterinarian can contribute to that operation in a cost-effective manner.
Right away in the springtime, when you're branding, get your shots in them calves. Pay attention to the warning signs. If you got a problem, take care of it early. And then the fall, when you're weaning them calves, get another round of shots in them. That's going to keep those feedlots coming back and buying their calves, because they'll know they've had shots and they're going to stay healthy and they're going to perform.
Near Wall, South Dakota, I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To learn more about winning the battle against BRD and why you should include Vista in your herd health regimen, visit the website MerckAnimalHealthUSA.com.